What does it mean to be called to something? And how do we truly know if we have been called to do something in our lives? Do we have a choice between two options? Who determines what we are called to do? How do we find the answers to all of these daunting questions? A calling to me is unpredictable. You can't guess when, where, or how it will occur. In my personal circumstance, I couldn't even change the outcome. The only thing I knew for certain was that my world was flipped upside down, and the only option I had was to start living my life according to God's plan. My freshman year at IUPUI, I was studying exercise science in hopes of becoming a physical therapist. I was making great friends, enjoying my classes, and getting fantastic grades. Everything seemed perfect until the spring semester when I started having doubts. I started thinking about the future and realized I was not pursuing the right field of study. I took endless career placement tests, only for them to list endless careers that quote-unquote fit my personality. I did not know where to turn. I struggled with my emotions until finally I decided to turn to God. I had been investigating in Christ for about a year, but I hadn't fully given my life to Him. I just began to pray that He would help me find the answers I needed to move forward. Less than a week later, on March 4th, 2012, my life took an unexpected turn. As I was working on an assignment for class, my dad called and told me I needed to come home. I could hear the pain in his voice as he told me that my aunt had suffered a severe stroke and that she was not going to survive. My aunt, the one that bought me milkshakes after school, the one that taught me how to iron clothes, the one that would pedal boat and take bike rides with me during the summer, one of the most loving people I knew, passed away on March 6, 2012. In the 2 days that she was in the ICU, I can remember feeling an overwhelming sensation that God was trying to show me something, but I just couldn't see what it was. I started paying very close attention to the nurses that cared for my aunt, which was confusing because I had never considered nursing before. In fact, in high school, I had no desire to be a nurse. But one nurse in particular was so influential. Instead of trying to understand our pain, she consoled us by praying with us, listening, and letting us grieve. I knew in that moment that this was where I was meant to be. After this experience, my faith and trust in God's plan grew immensely. In my case, I almost knew that I had been called to nursing because of my faith. All it took was one great storm to change my life and put me on track. After this experience, I began to explore my values. Understanding my own values has helped me be cognizant of others and grow as an individual. Through my first semester in the nursing program, I have learned valuable lessons that are helping me in this reflective process. One of the biggest influences from B253 has been the discussion on death and dying. Like my aunt's nurse, I learned that the best thing to do for a dying patient or his or her family is to simply be there. To be the one that can listen to their worries, to understand their confusion and try to clarify, to be ever present and to be non-judgmental. I know that I still have a lot of work to do in order to grow in the nursing profession. My biggest challenge will be learning to sit with the patient and try not to fix everything, but to listen intently and be with them in their time of need. In my opinion, if someone believes they have been called to a profession, they should explore it wholeheartedly. There is almost always an emotional attachment to a calling, which makes it even more exciting and unique. Callings are rarely black and white, and I believe it is our duty to explore the gray areas and make them clearer for ourselves. When I decided nursing was the right journey for me, I had no idea that there were so many specialties in the field. I have spent many hours researching the fields that interest me so that I can narrow the selection down. Keeping an open mind while exploring opportunities is key to success. Although this has not always been the easiest for me, I have taken a step forward by looking for new opportunities of growth, such as the Sigma Theta Tau International Conference and the Interprofessional Health Education Experience. As quoted by Albert Einstein, "The mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size." We learn from our explorations and find new opportunities from those we pursue. From my experience, it doesn't matter where you are in life. A calling is a calling. It's up to you if you decide to dive in to see what's inside.